Hi everyone, again it's Harry and Tom with another deer stalking gear review. Today we've got some very interesting high seats to bring you. We've got 5 different high seats to have a look at. We've got firstly a custom built lean-to single man high seat. We've got the Bushwear high seat. We've got a Devana lean-to and a Devana freestanding high seat. And we've also got a timber high seat that me and Tom built from some instructions in the stalking directory. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Tom to talk you through the first custom high seat.
So hi there everyone, this is the first high seat we're going to take a look at. This is a custom built high seat. It's a single man high seat. It's very well made. We've had it for about 3 or 4 years now and it's not showing any signs of rust or wear or tear anywhere. The positives to it are, of course, very well made. It's very spacious up on the top. It's probably sort of 1.5 man really, so there's plenty of room to manoeuvre around. There's a nice storage shelf underneath the high seat itself, which you can just see at the top, for storing bits and pieces, kit bag, etc., spare ammunition, all the rest of it. The downsides to it, with it being so well made, it is quite a hefty high seat. I mean, to get this one into position, it took two of us and a trailer. And I think quite a lot of ratchet straps to kind of pull it up against the tree. When it comes apart, it basically only comes apart into 2 pieces. You have the top section high seat and you have this main ladder. So again, it's not something that would fit in the back of a sort of conventional hatchback car. You either need a big 4x4 pickup or trailer to move it around. It's about 250 quid all galvanised. We painted this one brown so it blends in a little bit better. Very good high seat. Hi everyone and welcome to high seat number 2 of this evening. This one is a Bushwear G1 single person high seat. They're now going for about 250 quid from Bushwear. I think when we bought this one it was only about 200-ish. I think it was 199.99, which at the time was really good value. I mean, reflecting on it in terms of this one being 250, the Keith's high seat one we were just looking at being a similar price, to be honest, I'd probably opt for the Keith's high seat if it was going to be a high seat we're going to put in one place and leave it there forever. If I had a bit of land I didn't necessarily think I was going to have permission on for a long time, or perhaps a high seat you wanted to move around a lot, I'd probably opt for this one, which leads me into the advantages of this one. So this one comes in a much bigger variety of pieces when it does arrive. So you have this bottom bit of ladder, top bit of ladder, and then all of the seat element and these braces at the back here all comes apart completely. It's literally arrives in a flat pack box that would fit in the boot of a normal hatchback car. Comes with very good instructions, so very easy to put up. In terms of its build quality and everything like that, again, had this one for about 3 years, possibly 4 years, and it's not showing any signs of giving up just yet. At the moment, it's got some styrofoam bits and pieces on it. It's also got a cam net, so you have to excuse that. Again, very happy with this high seat. If I was to criticise it ever so slightly, again, in terms of downsides, the brace at the back of it, that's a sort of V-shape that sits on a tree, is possibly not quite in the right place. So especially if you've got a tree that's leaning, to actually get that around the tree, you've almost got to have the high seat leaning slightly forward, so that when you're sat in it, you're slightly falling out to the front of the high seat. The box at the top as well that you sit in is quite small as well, so there's not a huge amount of space to wiggle around it. But to be honest, I think for the money this was at the time, it's pretty good value for money, and I'd highly recommend.
Right, here we are, seat number 3. This is a wooden high seat made by myself and Tom about mid last year, so sort of 6 or 7 months old. It's a double timber high seat, like I say, with a bar. Hasn't got any sort of frilly bits on it at all. It's made from a plan that we found on the stalking directory. Went out to the local timber yard, got all the timber and sort of screwed it together. Advantages, it was cheaper at the time to make it. I still think it was about £150 in timber, plus probably 3-4 hours of labour making it, maybe more than that. So, you know, it's probably still cheaper than buying a metal double high seat, depending on the price of timber in your area. Obviously, timber is very hard to come by at the moment. Disadvantages, it is immensely heavy. We had to get, I think, 4 people to put this high seat up. It's extremely sturdy. You know, when it's leaning against a tree, and you could have almost 3 of you in there, and you'd feel extremely secure. And it's, you know, it's very sort of thick timber, so it's not going anywhere. It's all treated. But like I say, putting it up, it's not something you can do yourself. You can't put it in a car. You need a full trailer or almost a tractor to put it up, or just build it in situ, which I suppose you could do if you've got sort of electricity and things like that. But yeah, there it is, the double timber high seat a la Harry and Tom. Right, so this is the Devana 2-man steel lean-to high seat. As I say, it's a 2-man galvanised steel construction 2-man high seat. It's about £260 for a powder coated one. We've here got the galvanised one, which is close to £300, I think. Devana also do I think they call it the stewardship seat, which is I think 200 quid. That is a fair bit shorter than this, I think. But this one is the sort of slightly taller one. It's got a little rest for your foot. It's not the sort of timber footrest that you get in the lean-to one, in the freestanding one, but it's actually pretty comfy once you're up in there. It's about the right height. In terms of comfort, it is actually really comfy to sit in. The sort of angle of the backrest is kind of slightly reclined, so you're not kind of sat bolt upright, which I know is a lot of people's complaints with a lot of sort of lean-to seats. So this actually is really comfy, and the bar actually is set at a perfect height for this seat at least. We're actually shooting down, so it's probably maybe a little bit too high, but that's because we're actually shooting down quite a bit, and I'm probably going to do some modifications to it. In terms of assembly, it was very, very quick to do. I think it took me about 25 minutes to do this. I've done another one, so it might be a bit longer if you did it on your first time, but that was just with hand tools, 25-30 minutes, something like that, to assemble. It's all quite lightweight, all packs down quite easily, so you could quite easily chuck this in the boot, bring it to where you're going to put it up, assemble it. You know, you could put it up with one person really, maybe two to push it all the way up against the tree, but I mean, I managed it on my own, so it's definitely doable. Nice features, it's got all the Devana ones actually have little holes down here in the bottom of the ladder for a sort of long tent peg, so you can kind of really dig the bottom of the ladder in. Then got the sort of ladder support that goes up against the tree. It's got 2 mounting tabs for this, and with this one the tree's a little bit wobbly, so I've actually managed to bend it so it's dead in the centre of the trunk, and that actually really makes it very, very sturdy with the ladder. It stops any sort of wiggle or wobble. It's got a V for the tree to sit in on the top bar, which I think is quite good, because often if the tree's leaning forward or backwards, if the V is on the sort of seat's bottom bar, it fouls on the top one. So the fact that they put it right at the top, you can kind of see it there. I think it's quite a neat feature, because then it just sits on any tree really nicely. And yeah, what else to say? I think that's it really. It's quite a solid high seat. I've only just got it obviously, so we haven't had a good chance to test it yet, but first impressions are really, really good. This is the Devana double freestanding metal high seat. They come in either a powder coat or a galvanised finish. We've got the galvanised finish here. These retail for about £375 the last time I looked, and they are, as described, a metal double person freestanding high seat. They're obviously a fair bit more expensive than a lean-to high seat. The benefit is obviously that you can have it in a place like this where there's no trees or anything to lean it up against, so the flexibility as to where you can put this is you know, really endless. You could put this high seat wherever suit your fancy. They have a really nice footrest on this high seat, so you get a timber footrest, which just makes it really nice and comfy, and they're sort of slightly swept back, so you're actually kind of sitting in it and they are pretty comfy. I just put one of these together myself, and it took me probably about 45 minutes for the freestanding one. The lean-to one is about 25 minutes, so obviously there's a lot more method involved in this. And we've only just got these, so we'll have to give you a sort of longer term review at another date, but first impressions are really good. The galvanising seems to be really high quality, everything fits together, all the fittings seem really good, the instructions are excellent, delivery was fine, you know, they seem on first impression to be a really solid high seat, so we will give you a bit more of an update once we've had it for sort of 6 or 8 months. We're probably going to put some sort of brown or black spray paint on this just to take the colour off and the shine. We've put a bit of wire on it just because there's a footpath right behind. We're a bit worried about people tipping them over, so hopefully that will deter people from trying that. But there you go, that's our 4 different Highseats. Hope you found it relatively informative. Please do give us your feedback and like and subscribe and join us on the next video.